Now, before we open up tonight's live telecast from New York City, I just want to send prayers and condolences. I mean, there's so much sadness in the world right now. I mean, from black men getting killed randomly throughout the country and other places unknown also. But I want to give out my condolences, and the staff of Astrology Numerology now, we want to give our condolences to the people of Nepal, who have just suffered a devastating earthquake here over the last couple of days. I don't have the exact astrological information as far as their rising sign or the country of Nepal, what's their birthday, but not having to know what anything or what astrology is about, just sending some love out there, and if you can donate, contact the various donation places around the world. Peace and blessings to the people of Nepal. Now, that kind of choked me up, so stuttering a little bit, but hey, send some love to Nepal. But we're going to open up the show tonight. As we always say, the sun right now is in the sign of Taurus. I want to say happy birthday to all the Taurians who are watching the show. The sun is in the sign of Taurus from April 20th to May 21st. The sun is in the sign of Taurus. So if you got Taurus moon, Taurus rising, it's an earth sign. And unfortunately with Nepal, and we've had a couple of planets in the sign of Taurus, Mars is in Taurus, the earth had to move. The earth had to move during that period. So, you know, the sun is in Taurus, Mars is in Taurus, the sun will be in the sign of Taurus until May 21st, then the sun will be in the sign of Gemini. I just want to say happy birthday to all the Taurus people. And I just want to say happy birthday to my sisters, Vanessa and Anna, who are both Tauruses, and sending in the memory of my mother. My mother was also a Taurus, Taurus with the moon in Pisces, the late great Saint Anna Lee Pinckney. She would have been 80-something by now, but getting choked up again, thinking about the sadness, the heart, and all that kind of stuff. But happy birthday to those special Taurus women in my life. Now, coming up next, now this is the part of the show. If you know nothing about astrology, nothing about numerology, keep it locked right where it is right now. If you don't know nothing about astrology, nothing about numerology, Mercury is going to be retrograde. That's from May 18th, 2015 to June 11th, 2015. And the retrograde is going to be happening in the sign of Gemini, which is Mercury's home sign. Now, I don't know if you know anything about astrology, but Mercury is the ruler of the planet Gemini. Mercury rules the sign of Gemini. So we're going to have this retrograde period, and as you all know, thousands of times, you've watched this show over the last 8 years, you've said Mercury retrograde again. Well, Mercury retrogrades once every 4 months. It retrogrades about 3 times a year. And of course, Mercury is the planet of communication, information, and travel. We have to stay on top of Mercury retrograde, especially this one, since it's in the ruling planet of Gemini, Mercury's home. So now more than ever, now Mercury retrograde is a feeling. It's a feeling, it's a state of mind. Mercury retrograde during this one, since it's in the sign of Gemini, be careful what you say to people, because Gemini is about communication and information. I expect a lot of mishaps when it comes to getting information out. A lot of more computers will be hacked into. I mean, get your stuff together now. The purpose of astrology and numerology is for the astrologer to let everyone know what's happening down the road. So down the road, we're going to have Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Once again, this is from May 18th to June 11th. In the sign of Gemini, so a lot of, if you got Gemini rising in your charts, period of readjustment, you got Gemini moon or some serious planets in Gemini, like Mercury in Gemini and Venus in Gemini, or Gemini rising, this is a period of readjustment, May 18th to June 11th. I know we're a couple of weeks away from it, but the thing with astrology, the thing with numerology is to get you ready. A lot of you are going to be acting crazy. A lot of you during this Mercury retrograde, Gemini, in the sign of Gemini, the information is going to be thrown off. Do not sign on the dotted line. Some of the do's and don'ts of a Mercury retrograde is you do not sign contracts. You do not start new things. Mercury retrograde is a cosmic timeout. Rethink, replan, redo. Any re or word or prefix would be RE in it. Think about it. And a lot of people in Mercury and Gemini will be getting all kinds of, watch out for the wild people. The less you say, the better you are with this Mercury retrograde in Gemini. As you know, during Mercury retrograde in Gemini, things fail. Things fail during Mercury retrograde in Gemini when it comes to electronics, information. You don't buy new things. And Mercury retrograde is an 8-week period. From May 4th, Mercury will be in the retrograde zone. It goes retrograde on the 18th. This is the retrograde motion we talk about, from the 18th to the 11th of June. And then from the 11th of June to about June 25th, we have to wait for Mercury to come back at full strength, or for you seasoned astrologers to know that Mercury will be coming out of the shadow of its retrograde. So this Mercury retrograde that we got coming up in the sign of Gemini, and Mercury is going to be in Gemini for 2 months. For 2 months, from I got it right here, April 30th to July 8th. Now, we just had a couple of weeks ago Mercury in the sign of Taurus, and I said on that show, Mercury would be only in the sign of Taurus from April 30th, or let's say April 14th to about April 30th. Mercury would be in the sign of Taurus for 2 weeks. Now, Mercury will be in the sign of Gemini for 2 months because of its retrograde motion. Now, more than any other time, is to get your paperwork together, get your books together, get all your information and put it in one place. Try not to talk too much. Listen. Don't sign anything new. Try not to do anything new. But the thing right now is rethink, replan, redo, reschedule. Wait until Mercury goes direct on June 11th. That's the big spiel about Mercury retrograde. I think it's time to open up the phone lines, but I want y'all to get this. I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from an astrology point of view, and how we have to deal with Mercury being in the sign for the next 2 months of Gemini. For 2 months, starting April 30th, Mercury is going to be in the sign of Gemini. Geminis, this is do or die time. If you have Gemini rising, moon in Gemini. And it's going to, sort of kind of reshape the lives of Pisces people, because Gemini squares Pisces on one side, and on the other side it squares Virgo. So the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. It's a lot going on in the next couple of weeks. But let's take some phone calls. 212-757-1483 is the number to call. I just want y'all to get it together. When this retrograde drops, I don't want y'all to say Z Starman didn't tell you so. People in the news, as y'all heard today, Loretta Lynch, congratulations to Loretta Lynch. She has been nominated or sworn in as the first Attorney General, or Black African-American woman Attorney General in the United States, and her birthday is May 21st. She's a Gemini. She is a Gemini. I got to get her moon and all that other kind of stuff, but hey, she's very smart. She's very brilliant. And guess what? She's from Brooklyn. She is from Brooklyn. So Loretta Lynch is May 21st, 1959. Congratulations, sister. Do something about what's going on in Baltimore. She's going to send troops to Baltimore. But up next, now everybody been talking about this person, Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner. What is Bruce Jenner's birthday? Bruce Jenner, he is October 28th, 1949. He's a Scorpio. Now, I did some research on this chart. He's a double Scorpio. He's a Scorpio with the moon in Aquarius. Scorpio is always about rebuilding and rebirthing, and his life path number is the number 7. So he's on a lonely path. I mean, like you're trying to win the decathlon. I mean, the world's greatest athlete. That's what they call the decathlon. But Pluto has gone through his first house. He has Saturn and Scorpio transiting through. So he's a double Scorpio. So this is his journey, and this is his journey that he's got. He's a Scorpio, double Scorpio. So that's Bruce Jenner. People have asked me about the fight of the century this week, and it's Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather's birthday, he's a Pisces, February 24th, 1977. And Manny Pacquiao, he's December 17th, 1978. So we got Sagittarius, Pacquiao, and Mayweather, the Pisces. You asked me to predict the winner. I am going to pick Mayweather. I'm going to pick Mayweather by a split decision. A split decision. You know, there's always stuff funny going on in these fight worlds. So that's a lot going on. And let's see, what else do I got to talk about? Oh, yeah, Venus is in the sign of Cancer. Venus is in the sign of Cancer on May 7th. It enters the sign of Cancer in Gemini now. I'm still waiting to hit the lottery because I'm a Gemini and Venus in the sign of Gemini. Venus is in the sign of Cancer from May 7, 2015 to June 5th, 2015. So it's coming. It's coming. Again, astrology is about getting you ready for what's down the line. We got time for one quick phone call. Caller, you're on the air with C. Starman.
Hi, Dr. B. This is Laura. How are you?
Laura?
Yes.
Hey, Laura.
How you doing?
This is Laura the Leo.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Laura?
I'm all right, and you?
What's good?
You told me. I'm here with the
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Laura. It's time for you to get an update.
Yes, sir.
It's time for you to get an update, and I want you to call me after the show.
Okay.
All right? They say okay, but, you know, but seriously, it's not about the money. It's about getting the information out.
That's
and and as I've said, and I've quoted J.P. Morgan on this show many occasions, and if you don't know, J.P. Morgan is a billionaire industrialist during the turn of the century, during the 1900s.
I do.
Sold U.S. Steel for $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
And his motto was, or one of his train of thoughts were, millionaires have financial planners. Billionaires have astrologers. Mm-hmm. So it's up to everybody out there to stay on top of what's going on from an astrology point of view, numerology point of view. We're in 2015, and we're looking at alternative means of understanding the universe. So you're August 6th, I believe, right?
August 5.
August 5.
1966.
1966.
Yes.
Now, how can I help you this evening?
I wanted you to give me a brief reading of what's going on, being coming into spring. You said we got the Mercury Retrograde coming up. I haven't spoken with you in a while, so I'm glad I got through this evening.
It's time for an update. Because I know there are about 100 other people standing in line wanting to get on the show.
Yes.
And I didn't put out the disclaimer, but you got through. So now the big thing that you have to look forward to or deal with right now is some sort of kind of good stuff with Jupiter going direct.
Yes.
In the sign of Leo. Jupiter has been in the sign of Leo almost a year now, so it's sort of kind of making readjustments for all Leo people. Jupiter in astrology is the planet of luck and abundance. Mm-hmm. And so it was retrograde for about 8 months, but it went direct in the sign of Leo. So now is the time on April 8th, it went direct in the sign of Leo. But now I want you to take advantage of the good fortune that's probably headed your way.
Yeah.
Because Jupiter is around once every 12 years. Mm-hmm. Once every 12 years, the good luck planet comes around. Okay. So it's come around to your sign in the sign of Leo. My control room is saying, man, the phones are ringing off the hook now. What's your moon? What's your moon and rising sign? You know
I believe it's in Aries.
You're Aries?
Yes.
Aries what?
My moon is in Aries.
Your moon is in Aries. And what's your rising sign?
Leo.
Leo, so you're double Leo. Now, with this Mercury retrograde, and you got to call me.
Yes.
With this Mercury retrograde, is in the sign of Gemini. In your astrology chart, it's in your natal 11th house.
Natal 11?
In your natal 11th house.
Okay.
With Leo rising, Mercury's, Gemini is Leo's 11th house, the house of friends and hopes, wishes, and desires.
Okay.
So wait for some of your friends to act kind of funky right through here. You're going to be losing some friends, old friends, people that you've been with for a while. They're going to be, out of your life because the Mercury retrograde is in the house in the 11th house. There are 12 houses in the zodiac, so Mercury retrograde in the sign of Gemini will be in your natal 11th house, house of hopes, wishes, friends, organizations. You thinking about joining a church?
Yes.
Yeah. Reconnecting, joining a church, joining large spiritual organizations. That's something on the horizon for you. But Laura, I love you.
I will call you.